Brenda Fassie was an international star. Many people who didn't know her knew her songs, and those who didn't know the songs at least would have heard it somewhere once or twice. Even without the knowledge of what those lyrics meant, many of us, including me, belted those songs out whenever we heard it. Like when you hear her songs like this, you'll be dancing and jumping. Brenda Fassie, many people will agree with me, was a unifier and her music was her weapon. But 20 years after, and it seems like there's nothing left of her legacy, and that just like her legacy may also be dead. My name is Ikelomo Adeniyi. Welcome to this channel where I speak about ordinary people like you and me who have achieved amazing things. If this is your first time, extra welcome. But if this is not your first time, welcome back to the channel. Relax and enjoy as we explore Brenda Fassie's legacy and what really was a young girl, born with stars in her eyes and dreams in her heart. But life threw her a heavy blow at a young age that forever changed the trajectory of her life. Born as Brenda Nkozola Fassie, Brenda was born on the 3rd of November 1964 in Langa, Cape Town, South Africa. She was the youngest of 9 children. Brenda's father died when she was only 2 years old, leaving her and her sibling to be catered to by their widowed mother. But Brenda was named after Brenda Lee, a famous American musician. This makes me wonder if her father or her parents had an inkling of what Brenda was going to become, or maybe the name was some sort of premonition of who Brenda was going to become later in future. Brenda's mother, Sarah, was a pianist and having discovered her daughter's wonderful talent, put it to work because Brenda started singing at a young age for tourists and making money. Following a calling that came from deep within her soul, Brenda also started singing at school assemblies, and according to her friends, Brenda was composing her own songs at a tender age of 20. Like everyone, Brenda sought greener pastures, and at 16, following a visit from a man called Hendrik Lebona, Brenda moved from Cape Town to Soweto, Johannesburg. This Hendrik Lebona later said that he knew that Brenda Fassie's voice was the voice of the future. Hmm. Talk about insight. Success came for Brenda Fassie when she joined a local group called Joy to fill in for a member who had to go on maternity leave. And later after that, she joined another group called Brenda and the Big Dudes and became the lead singer. Fortune smiled on her again and she had a beautiful baby called Bogani with one of the Big Dudes member. But after this, Brenda Fassie's life seemed to take a nosedive. Though she had many other wonderful and blissful moments, many beautiful moments, but these moments were often mixed with controversies and painful events. Brenda Fassie, who was known as the Madonna of the Townships, shot to fame in the early 80s with the hit Weekend Special that you may not know, but you may have heard once. In 1989, Brenda married a man who was a former jailbird, but the marriage shortly ended for several reasons, including, according to Brenda, battery. And it was also heard that he was known to help himself to the contents of her purse. Around this time, Brenda became addicted to cocaine, and her career, as well as the wins she had during that period, were dealt several painful blows. But if you knew Brenda, you know that Brenda was known for many things, and amongst them was the fact that she was a strong woman. And even though this addiction to cocaine and alcohol would have brought a lot of other musicians to their knees, would have crumbled their career, it didn't do that to Brenda. But she was so far gone in her addiction to cocaine and alcohol that she was known to miss some of her concerts because she would be in an alcohol daze for days. Like alcohol days for days. Though I have to give it to her, Brenda was resilient. She went for rehabilitation for over 30 times during her lifetime. But drug abuse and alcohol abuse was an albatross around her neck that was determined to bring her to ruin and shorten her life. A testament of this fact is the fact that in 1985, Brenda Fassie was found unconscious in a hotel room with the body of her dead lover, Poppy, who had overdosed. Her finances were also so poorly managed that one time her son Bogani was sent away from school because she had not paid his school fees, something that shouldn't have happened to any celebrity of her caliber. One thing that Brenda Fassie was clearly known for, apart from the fact that she was a strong woman, was also the fact that she had a mind of her own. So much so that she openly flaunted her bisexuality in such a time when things like that were not common. She gained massive popularity for her outspoken views, her songs about hardships, and her visits to the poorer townships of Johannesburg. Regardless of everything that was going on with Brenda Fassie, she always tried to use her music to speak about important situations and send important messages. She used her music to oppose the apartheid regime, and in 1990 she released the song Black President as a tribute to the popular South African president Nelson Mandela. Her domination of the music business lasted for over 20 decades, bolstered by her swaggering antics and a scandal-filled personal life that the tabloids loved. Because why not? There was always a story around Brenda Fassie. Brenda was also known to have a great sense of humor. Once, after winning an award, she openly joked that she was going to become the Pope next year because apparently nothing was impossible. But alongside also having a great sense of humor, she was also known to be unafraid of anyone and she was known to always speak her truth. When she lost an award 3 years later to another musician, she raged at him publicly. And when a journalist wrote some articles about her that were not favorable, Brenda Fassie spewed obscenities at him. She once said in an interview in 1998, I am a shocker. I like creating controversies. It is my trademark. Those words she lived by even till her deathbed.
If I want to do anything, I want to do anytime, anywhere, with anybody. Tata, no. Just now, put Brenda Fassie aside and then check you out.
Brenda never ceased entertaining people with her antics and was a queen of making fun of herself. She made life her playground and didn't take life too seriously. Once during a concert in the US in 2001, when her breast popped out, an unashamed Brenda Fassie shouted, "This is Africa!" You would all agree that that was a situation which would have embarrassed many musicians, but Brenda Fassie saw it and used it as an opportunity to connect more with her audience. Even Maman Gaddafi, the Libyan leader, wasn't immune to her charms. After a concert in Ouagadougou, the capital of Burkina Faso, he sent armed soldiers to bring Brenda Fassie to his personal residence, where he reportedly took a ruby and diamond ring from his fingers and slipped it into those of Brenda Fassie. Oh, if that wasn't a show of how much she was loved by all, I don't know what is. Brenda was a king amongst men, and her flaws, no matter how huge, didn't turn her fans against her. In fact, the fact that she was open about her flaws and that she spoke about her flaws endeared people to her. Brenda Fassie went on to have so many beautiful solo albums. She sang so many beautiful songs between 1996 to 1999, including Memoirs. Sadly, the drug abuse was still a huge problem. On April 26, 2004, Brenda Fassie unfortunately collapsed at her residence at Gauteng. News initially had it that she suffered a cardiac arrest, but later it was said that she had an asthma attack that made her slip into coma. At that hospital, Brenda took her last breath. The postpartum reports, however, despite all that had been said, showed that Brenda had overdosed on cocaine, which caused her to then slip into a coma. She was said to have suffered brain damage due to lack of oxygen to her brain, but her son disagreed.
It as mentioned on the post on the death certificate that the real cause of death for Brenda Fassie is still under investigation.
20 years on.
20 years on, ma'am.
Brenda Fassie passed on May 9, 2004 after her life support machines were turned off. She died without regaining consciousness at a young age of 39, and after she died, a lot of tributes from all over the world came pouring in to celebrate her and her amazing talent. It's been 20 years after Brenda Fassie's death, and the younger generations are still being blessed by her talent. In fact, come to think of it, just a few days ago, my neighbor was playing Brenda Fassie's music and singing it with the whole of his might. He was singing nonsense, but at the end of the day, it showed that till this day, Brenda is still loved and her talent is still being adored. Yes, undoubtedly, she lived a life that was rife with challenges, but even in death, she still holds her personality of being larger than life. And dare I say larger than death? Because, I mean, even in death, Brenda Fassie is still loved. So, at this point in time, is Brenda Fassie's legacy dead? What say you? I mean, from what all I've said, I believe you already know that. I believe that Brenda Fassie's legacy is still alive. I would say her legacy is still alive because her legacy is her music. Her voice was so potent that till date, when her music is played, one cannot help but wonder what manner of woman held such a powerful voice. Brenda Fassie will continue to live through the joys and the happiness that her music brings. So, what do you think? Do you agree with me that Brenda Fassie's legacy is still alive? Or do you think that she is soon to join or she has joined musicians whose lives and whose songs have been forgotten? Let us know what you think in the comment section, and let us know what your favorite song by Brenda Fassie was. We've come to the end of this video about the legacy of Brenda Fassie. I personally feel that Brenda Fassie's legacy is still alive, and I love her song. That one that's that one that goes, I don't know the lyrics, but I love. I think that Brenda Fassie's legacy will still be on for at least another 2 decades. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. We've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, kindly consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and send this video to your friends and loved ones. Let them remember who Brenda Fassie was, and let's know what's their favorite song of Brenda Fassie or their favorite song by Brenda Fassie was. Until next time, keep living as your most authentic